Talk to me about this approach of storytelling within sales and why it's like so passionate for you.
Stories are so powerful. And I would imagine folks listening to this have heard this phrase when you talk about a presenter, you talk about a person who is, keynote speaker or something, or maybe just giving a presentation at a company meeting. And it's hard for us, I think, to believe this because we think that what we say is so important. That, of course, everybody remembers all the words that I've said because all the words are so important. And it's this idea that people don't remember the words that you say, but they remember how you made them feel.
Mm-hmm.
And in a story, people can see themselves in that narrative. They can hear and feel and see and experience the pain points that somebody is feeling because the solution isn't right. And in the same way, they can experience and feel and see and understand how the solution makes a difference in the story.
Mm.
And so number one, it's the oldest form of communication that we have is fables and passing things down through stories. There's a framework that works. There are characters. There is a beginning. There is a middle. There is an end. There is a problem. There is a solution.
Yeah.
There are these things that are tried and true that we are just wired. I mean, Hollywood has made how many bajillions of dollars using the same framework every time.
Yeah.
You got this person who's got a problem, who meets a guide who helps them figure it out, and also says you can not do this, which sometimes they do. They're like, that guy didn't know what they're talking about. I'm going to do it on my own. And they wind up screwing it all up. And then they come back to the guide, and the guide hopefully is kind and says, glad that you had that situation. And now let's try this thing that I told you. And then the guide steps out of the way and lets the person do it. And so part of it for me is that it just, I don't like to be sold to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to feel like it is a transaction. I don't like to feel like I am a pawn in a script. Well, they said yes. Okay, then go here. Well, they said no now. Okay, we'll go there. And I don't like that. And I don't think it's genuine. And I think the other piece, I do believe that most salespeople are relational at heart. They love relationships. They love people. They love asking questions. And when you can combine that with being the guide for your client who is the hero, instead of, coming in like Superman and tearing your shirt off and you got the big S on your chest and say, I'm here to save the day.
Yeah.
That doesn't, it happens in those situations. It happens to them, the client. It doesn't happen with them.
Yeah.
And we want to be included. We want to be a part of that solution. We want to be excited about where we've gotten, and we want to feel like we had a hand in that. Yeah. We want something to be proud of as well. And so when we are creating stories in sales and helping the client see themselves in the problem and in the solution, it's so much more powerful than we have 32,000 people around the world who can, dial in and we can resolve your problems in 45 seconds or less. But if I tell you that one person that's sitting in a cube halfway across the world who completely understands the frustrations that you're going through because one of their other clients just went through that last year, and here's how our person came alongside them, was curious, was asking questions, was pulling information out, and then came back with a story and said, you know what? This is very similar to what happened over here. Let me tell you the story of how they dealt with that. Let me tell you the story of what they were dealing with. Do you feel that? Is that the same kind of pain that you're feeling? Yeah, that's totally it. Well, here's what we do. Do you think that you could do something like that we could part? Yeah, we could totally do that. Well, now I'm a part of this thing and I see myself in this thing. I don't see myself in statistics.
Yeah. You just lose them in that, right?
Yeah. And here's the other thing. I think the salesperson is usually the one that's more impressed with the 14 things and the 15 things. Does the client even need 12 of the 15? Because we make these assumptions, and my grandpa showed me when I was 6 years old what assuming does. So, you know how that all works.
Yep.
But we make these assumptions that we know what they need because they called us or we were referred to them. So we come in with the S on our chest and let me tell you how awesome we are. And we've got this product that's got these 15 features. And have we ever even stopped to say, what's going on? What do you need? Where are your pain points? What's your frustration? If I had I love this question. If I had a magic wand that I could wave today, what 3 problems would you want to solve that would make tomorrow easier? And if you can ask that question and then shut your mouth, the things that you're going to learn and the stories that then you will be able to tell them, and you may realize, you know what? They don't need any of these 15 things. They need this other thing.
Yeah. So are you even saying that in asking those questions, you might get to a place with a certain prospect that you go, what we offer, you don't really need right now.
100%.
Yeah.
One of the most important things in sales is to check your intent. What is the intent? And again, we've been sold to by people that we know have a quota and it's the end of the month and we're getting hard sold to bad because they want the bonus and they need the thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the most powerful things that you can do as a sales professional is to ask those questions to really get to the heart of the matter. And if your solution is not a fit, to tell them, you know what, after we've had these conversations, I don't really think that we're a good fit. And that's where most people stop. I don't think we're a really good fit. And I think you're a really good fit for this friend that I have over here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to connect you to them because I really think that what they have is going to be the best solution for you. And by the way, it's about half the price of what it is that we're doing over here. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to do any good for you. I don't think it's going to do you justice or be a good service for you. You have just won a client, air quotes, for life because they will remember that forever because we've all been sold crap we don't need.
Yeah.
When's the last time somebody said, no, I don't think you need what I have to sell. You need to go over here and do this.
And I love the way that you're saying that because even as I'm listening to you present that, and there's been some things that I've probably purchased over the last year for my business that was presented to me in that way. Like, how can I help you solve that problem? You know, like,
right.
I'm even thinking of a buddy of mine that I work with. I think the first time we started working together, I was just talking to him about some issues that I was having. It's like, man, he goes, I think I could help you with that because of XYZ, and this is how I would do it. And like, you know, is that interesting to you? And I was like, heck yeah, it's interesting to me. Where do I sign? Right. He was telling stories of how he did that in his own life or with other people that he's worked with or in past times and what he's done. And it was that whole process that you walk through and you go, oh, you're helping me solve a problem. And as soon as I signed on with him, he started solving that problem. And I was like, yeah. This was the greatest thing. Why didn't I do this 6 months earlier? And I think that's what the framework you're trying to help in sales and all that is to say, hey, let's tell good stories. Let's help people. Let's diagnose problems and solve problems. Yeah, that's really what it is. And that is beautiful. And that's not a sleazy way of selling at all.
No, and I will say that I think one of the greatest underutilized components of truly great salespeople that doesn't get talked about enough is genuine curiosity. Because if you are truly, genuinely curious, you have the best interests of the person that you're talking to in mind the entire time. And that's what's driving the questions. The questions aren't driving to your particular solution. They could be. But you're also trying to figure out at the same time, are we a fit? Is this going to work? Are we trying to put a square peg into a round hole? Would they be better off somewhere else? Why are they really saying this? and to truly get to the heart of the matter. Because I think very often, and I talk about this a lot, there's a practical problem. That's the thing, the house is on fire, so we need a hose to put this thing out.
Right.
But there is an emotional problem behind that. What's going to happen? I'm going to lose all my kids' art drawings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The existential problem is, how are we going to replace all that stuff? And what do we do? What's next? And if you can get to those and really have a true understanding and continue to ask questions to find the right solution, you're going to have a client for life.